We are ready. It's episode 9.
It is Dr. Love.
Of Menopause. Welcome, episode 9. Actually, we decided this time that we were going to do some face yoga.
We did. We decided that last week. We thought, I mean, since you do that, you know, it's one of the many forms that you teach, isn't it?
I do.
And you swear by it. So we thought it'd be really nice to do it. And here, give us a little bit of.
We're going to try. We're going to try. So this is a podcast. So usually, obviously, teaching face yoga.
Yeah, there's not lots.
It's a bit of visual. So this is going to be an interesting take. Before we dive into it, how has your menopause week been?
It has been a blur. It has been a bit of a blur.
Okay.
It has been a bit of a.
But those who can't see that face, that was a ridged up.
There, you got a sort of little noise there that has probably summed it up just a bit.
Ketchup week.
But turn a corner. I feel like I'm on the up. And I was about
to launch into George Michael now.
Well,
turn a different corner.
I don't know that
never one. Would have me.
I know. No? Oh, I'm never gonna dance again.
Oh, no, that's not what I'm
that's how I was feeling, like I was never gonna dance again. But I am dancing again. Actually, I'm not yet.
Oh, I've got to tell you as well. I was away at the weekend with my girls, and we went to this restaurant on the beach. Ooh. And they had this, which was great actually, and the fish and stuff like that was amazing. Oh. But that's not what I was going to say. They had a toilet scenario that was the best toilet scenario I think I've ever seen in my life. Clementine came back like ecstatic, going, "Oh my god, you have to go to the toilet!" So when you go to the toilet, you shut the door, and there's a red button that you press, and it turns into a disco.
Oh, yes,
awesome! Flashing lights that change.
I am a firm believer that you can very much judge an establishment on their toilet. That says a lot about them.
Eclectic. They've invested in their toilet. I quite like that whole scenario. So I was impressed with that. Sorry.
So long as it was clean.
It was clean, actually. And for a sort of Saturday night at that time, I was quite impressed, really.
Yes. You can't have buttons that you press in the toilet or they're all grubby.
And no, that was perfectly reasonable. But the problem is you just want to stay in the toilet and there's a huge queue outside. And if they've been in there already, they know what you've been doing, which is dancing in the toilet.
That's actually lovely.
It was fun.
I wonder if we could get that in our own toilet.
Of course you could.
Mind you, my other half spends long enough in the toilet as it is.
Maybe we don't need that. Does he dance?
Maybe that's what he's been doing all this time.
Maybe he's just got his headphones on and he's having a dance.
Yes. But yeah, no, menopause has turned the corner, and even better, I have just cleaned the house today.
Oh.
Which I know I feel amazing. It was a tip. And you know when you feel like, I've done a superwoman. Yeah. I have a clean house. I'm in control of my life.
Do you know what though? This is a big thing for me. I love having a tidy and clean house, and I don't think I can function properly unless I've got that.
I love having it too, but I must admit, the more I've got into self-development and ironically self-care, the more messy my house is.
The struggle.
Because I'm doing all these other fun things.
Can you not do both then? I think maybe have to go, doesn't it, at some point? Just there aren't that many hours in the day.
Oh, I must admit, now that I've done it, I mean, it's not perfect by any means, but it's a whole lot better than it was. And it's nice. It's just your space and it's all nice.
I think my house is clean. And
your
space. It's not. Then I put my glass in that to go, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's like that spexy.
You just don't
everything looks better without my glass.
Yeah, everything looks better. Yeah. David looks better. I look better. Everything looks better.
I did actually, as I was vacuuming the garage. I mean, who vacuums the garage? But wait for this. This will explain that it's out of character for me to vacuum the garage, because as I was vacuuming the garage, I came across a pile of dog hair, but not from existing dog, from dog that died about 4 years ago, maybe more. That's not good.
Yeah, that's not good sign.
Not good.
That kind of means you've neglected the garage for a really long time.
Yes, yes.
My brother once hoovered his oven.
Oh.
Yeah, it was so bad because he lived in student accommodation.
Yeah.
And it was so awful, their oven, that one day they were like, God, we've got to clean the oven, because every time they cooked, obviously it stank. So they decided they
And they're all the
just go
crumbs.
for it.
I think I might have done that. Back in the day. Back in the day.
But coming on a serious note, I think I function better when the environment that I'm in is, I mean, it's usually always tidy. There's lots of little bits everywhere in my house, but the clean thing as well.
Yeah.
I quite like that. This weekend's my blitz for the house before the sort of October kicks in and stuff. I like to try and do that over the sort of full moon and eclipse season, have a great big cleanup. So that's this weekend, Sunday probably, so I'm not sure I'm going to have time for that.
But there is something in it, isn't it? Clean house or clean mind kind of thing.
Yes.
You know, it's like it does help if you're not surrounded by clutter and mess.
And honestly, I think, you know, I've had phases, and coming back to the menopause, I've definitely had moments during the menopause and also now where I just have to get rid of stuff. Do you know what I mean? And and it's too much to think, oh, I've got to get rid of loads of stuff in the house. So I try and do it in sections now. So if I open a cupboard or something like that and I go, right, okay, that's the next thing. Okay, so I try and do it in little bits because otherwise it takes up all your life, and I haven't got time. No, you wouldn't. And I don't know how I've accumulated so much shit, Joe, really, because I moved into this house with very little. I didn't own very much when I moved into this house.
Accumulate. I must admit, I've been the opposite. Like, I've been sort of hoarding. You know, like how you always speak about having little like shriny areas.
I've got one right in front of us here in my bedroom. Oh, yes.
Things. And
now Sharon Blackie would say that that's a really interesting thing that we do, particularly during menopause. So Sharon Blackie, if you don't know her, brilliant writer, has written a great book called Haggitude, which is to do with the menopause, sort of attitude of the hag.
Mm-hmm.
And in there, and in fact, during the year when we were doing the course, we spoke about that kind of thing, collecting the little bits of wood and the nests and the little stones and all that kind of thing, and placing them in the house.
Yeah.
Almost like we're rewilding the house, if that makes sense. And the sort of space. And another of my favourite writers, and not just writers, she's brilliant on many, many levels, called Carolyn Hillier, and she says that we're like the weavers of wisdom.
Oh, I like that.
Weavers of wisdom, and we're picking out these things because they're inviting a connection with something that's already within us.
Okay.
So hoarding and eclectic stuff, as long as I suppose it's not McDonald's rackets and stuff like that.
Well.
Unless it is. Are you celebrating the golden arches?
What's the thing about was it one man's trash is another man's treasure?
Very true.
You know.
Very true. Gosh, I love some of those programs as well. That Stacey Solomon Sort Your Life Out.
I've not seen it.
I love a bit of that. But I can, and that's do you know, I partly watch it because it makes me feel like I live like a monk.
Yeah,
really in comparison, the amount of space and non-hoarding that I have in my house. But anyway, why we randomly started talking?
Well, that's what came out of how's my menopause. A bit, and I cleaned the house.
And you
cleaned the house. What about yours?
Well, mine's been massive. As you know, I bought a horse.
Yeah,
so
yours has been a bit crazy.
It's been a bit mad, and I have to admit, I was a bit like, I have no idea how I'm going to manage my life going forward. Some things are going to have to go.
As if it wasn't complicated enough.
As if it wasn't complicated enough as it was. I've now got this horse who is, thank goodness, beautiful, because he's so lovely. But I did buy him a bit blind, and I kind of plunged.
You saw videos, but you
never
met him.
I never met him, and I'd never ridden him, which is always a little bit of a worry. But I'm reassured, and I even galloped on him today, and he's just lovely. He's so giving. He's just such a giving kind of horse, and he takes most things in his stride. But he's a baby. He's like 4 years old, which is a tiny baby in horse world. So yeah, I've done that. So it's been a bit of a mad week. Yes. But I also did go away with my girls.
You did. That looked beautiful.
Which was amazing. And I went to a place called Buisson-Plage, which is based on a film. In English, they call it Betty Blue. It's not based on a film.
Of that.
Betty Blue is the film that was filmed on this beach, and that's how it became
I've not seen Betty Blue, but I've never heard
of it. So Betty Blue, and in French, it's called 37.2 degrees in the morning.
Why is it not just called Betty Bleu?
Well, the French title, the original, is 37 le matin, which is 37.2 degrees in the morning, because it's filmed on a really hot summer where even early in the morning you can't get any air. It's so hot. That's the whole point, I think, of the film. It sends people mad. Plus the fact down there's a lot of wind. It's just one of those places in France where there's a lot of kite surfing, wind surfing.
Wild.
It's pretty wild from that point. And years ago, there was a storm on this beach and it wiped out the houses. So since then, they've flooded them and took them away. So they've built them now on stilts. So that can't happen. So this film made it famous. Anyway, I used to take my girls to this beach when they were tiny.
Yeah.
In fact, Melody, I took on her own the first time because Clementine was too small.
No,
she was too small. And I thought, I can't cope with a tiny one and Melody in the campsite because it would have just been too much. So, but yeah, they've been there for years, right? Clementine only vaguely remembered it. Although
this is the first time you've been back since they were little.
This is the first time we've been back since our last trip.
Quite a lot.
No, the last time we went was probably 11 years ago.
Oh.
And I went to celebrate their 16th and 21st birthday.
Wow.
Because when we went down there, I had no money, Jill. I was so poor. And I went down on holiday there and I went literally with a couple of €100 in my pocket for everything. I mean, I'm talking campsite, food, petrol, like everything. It had to last. So I would make the holiday magic, but it would be things like they'd have to share a can of drink at lunchtime and stuff like that. They remember it all. Melody remembers the supermarket. They remember going to the port to have ice cream in the evenings. That was their treat for the evening. And it was fantastic.
Just goes to show, doesn't it?
And they had great memories of it, really great. But I always promised them we'd stay in a chalet.
And how did it feel going back?
It was really interesting. So I went down first with Clementine because Melody joined us afterwards and she came down on the train. So I drove down with Clem. So she only vaguely remembers it, but she loved it. She did remember the chalet.
I can imagine
she did
it would
remember
be her
the
kind of place. Yeah.
You know, my youngest daughters had all sorts of, not mental issues, but depression issues and stuff like that. And she's quite a lone animal. It's quite difficult sometimes to get her to open up and things. And nature's one of the things that helps that. So sunsets, sunrises, that kind of thing. And as we got there, the sun was setting. So we literally dumped our stuff in this tiny, as it turned out, part of the chalet and went to the beach.
And was the chalet quite near the beach?
Yeah, it was like 100 meters from the beach. It was incredible. So we did that and we did sunrises and we did lots of stuff on the beach. It was really windy, but we really, really enjoyed it. And just to have the three of us together at the same time was quite special. And then we went from there back to Aix-les-Bains, which is near to where we live, which is beautiful, because they had to go off to work and school the next morning. I'll drive there and we'll stay in a hotel. And we got there just in time for the spa bit, which makes it sound really glam. It's not. It was one of those. It looked like a Russian kind of swimming pool scenario, with the kind of quite bright tiles, like those rectangular tiles.
Okay, yes, yeah.
You got like yeah. And it felt like we're in some kind of Russian, spa thing. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it was a bit clinical. And we were like, okay,
not what I would picture for that area.
No, and it's a hotel from that kind of era.
Right, okay.
So the rooms are huge, and it's great value for money. But they were desperate to have a swim and a sauna and a hammam. And we got there in time, and just as everyone kind of left, so we ended up with the whole swimming pool to ourselves.
Perfect.
Everything was it's like having a private spa. Even the swimming pool monitor, whatever it is, was like brilliant timing. Everyone's disappeared. You've got the whole place to yourself. Just let me know if you need anything. We were like perfect. So it was a fab weekend and worth doing. And so just reminds you that sometimes you just have to get in the car and drive and do something.
Yeah.
You just have to. A friend of mine today said about the horse scenario. I said, life's getting really busy again, but all good. And I really wanted to do this for me. I was fed up of spending money on invoices. That was nothing to do with my pleasures. So I thought, sod it. I mean, I'd do something for me. And she was like, at the end of the day, Charlotte, you've got to make your dreams come true. You're only here once. And if you can do it now,
so true, isn't it? Yeah. We can spend too long thinking about it and dithering about it and then missing the moment and never doing it. And yeah, why not?
Which is kind of what we talked about last week, actually, if we want to be incredibly professional in our linkage.
Oh, look at that little
Isn't that really flawless?
Yes.
Yeah, because we talked about doing things that we'd done in our childhood.
We did.
Yeah. Have you advanced any on your painting and
book
writing?
No, but you know what? The hoarding thing, the collecting thing,
Ah,
that's something that's quite childlike, isn't it? I don't
It
know if
is
you were the
childlike,
same, but
yeah.
Mac used to do that, picking up stones and rocks and everywhere you go to making a little nice little display with them. I used to do a lot of that. Have I painted? No. I've written a bit.
Why do you think we do that? Because I think, that's always quite interesting. Why do we pick up stones or shells? The girls picked up shells when they were there. Not many, just a few. Why do you think we do that? Is it to link us to that particular point when we look at them again?
I do it. That's probably one of the reasons I do it now. As a child, I think I just, and still now, did it because I was attracted to the beauty. Like I've always had a thing for almost like a perfectly beautiful object, you know, and nature creates the most perfectly beautiful objects, doesn't it? And you know, when you're little and your brain's a wee sponge and you're just discovering everything, you know, what's not to love about all those wonderful shells and rocks, and then as we aged, we see, you know, I became the mum going, oh, put that down. We've got hundreds of shit, you know, but they are, if you just take a step back, beautiful, wonderful object.
It's funny. There was a little girl in the chalet next door at the weekend, but little. I mean, I don't know, 3.5, 4, something like that. She could speak, so and she was quite coherent about things. So she was probably 4. But as she was walking back to the chalet, you know when you're parents and you're like way ahead and you have to keep going back, going, come on. They were kind of doing that, and you could tell it was a bit of a thing with her.
Yeah.
And she going, but I found this rock and I found this rock and I put them in my pockets. And she's telling her mum that, and she's being very patient. She's going, that's great. I'm sure the washing machine's going to love that tomorrow. Note to self: take the rocks out of pocket before it goes in the machine.
You know, the opposite end of the, since you say that, I saw on, was it Sunday? We were down at the tennis courts, opposite end of the spectrum. Someone was with her elderly mother, who very obviously had dementia, and she was doing the same thing. She kept going off and coming back with rocks, and the daughter was being beautifully patient and going, "Wow, yes, but no more, mum. You know, that's, you know." And I thought, oh, again, you know, it's
wow, that's poignant.
You know, but then there is something, we surround ourselves, don't we, with all these lovely ornaments, and we buy beautiful things, but really, what's more beautiful? And like you do it a lot, lovely little displays of natural objects. And it's, you know, I
do have quite a lot of wood and things right in front of us, and I know you're not, you know, even on the YouTube you can't actually see, but I have actually got an eclectic collection of driftwood, feathers, crystals. Oh, it was full moon last night as well.
Was it?
All outside, I'm all outside to get all the moon energy. But yeah, I've got all of that in front of me going on here. So yeah, but I only do it here. This kind of scenario. This is like my little altar.
Because this is
my bedroom here, and this is my space. But I tend to practice here on some of the days, and yoga meditation. So I quite like having that in front of me with the candle.
You've got the beautiful view, which again you can't see, but we're looking out at the mountains.
Yeah, I do love it here.
But I mean, I guess linking all this back to the menopause
and to face yoga, because we're both supposed to be doing that.
Yes.
Yeah. So the nice space around us. Here's my link. The nice space around us is important, but sometimes I think we forget.
Yes.
Our space, and our, you know, skin and self-care, because we're sort of busy doing the other, like the cleaning the house and like the making things look beautiful, and then we forget maybe to make ourselves. And beautiful is a relative term. I'm going to say that because I think, you know, I'm not talking superficial beautiful.
No,
I'm really talking about you feeling good in your skin and beautiful from that point of view.
You know, in my journal, quite often in the morning, I write the words stop and see beauty in all things. And that's one of the first things I write. And then I put down my journal and I go into the bathroom brush my teeth and do all the wash your face. But just the act of writing that and making me think about it, it makes me, when I'm putting on my face cream, and you can't see what I'm touching my face, you know, just take my time to actually look at myself in the mirror and appreciate who you beauty. You know, not as you say. I'm not saying I'm sat there looking at the mirror at Kate Moss, but you know, it's
she doesn't look that good nowadays.
Does she not?
Well, but the 80s and the
maybe
the cocaine scene did her any favors.
Maybe a bit more food and a bit less cake, Maya. So that's, you know, where we're aging quite well.
Yes. I did see a very good clip, and then I'm going to give you a few tips on the face yoga thing, just really simple things, because we haven't got oil on our faces, so and usually we put oil on so you'd slide over your face a bit more. But before that, Dolly Parton was on an Instagram clip that I saw. Someone had pieced together interviews with her. You know who Dolly Parton is?
Of course I know who Dolly Parton is.
She's like an icon.
Although I was going to sing Stand By Your Man, but that was Tammy Wynette, wasn't it? That wasn't
She
Dolly.
did do that one as well, I think, but I'm not sure that was one of her.
Working Down to...
Oh, yes.
That's Dolly.
Yes. With Jane Fonda.
Yes.
That was really...
Dolly's cool.
Yes. Dolly Parton's really cool. She plays a very beautiful cameo role as well in the last series of or season of Grace and Frankie, which is well worth a detour because it's just priceless. She's brilliant. But it's interviews with her from when she was really quite young to right now.
Ooh.
And it was just clips, and it wasn't long, but it was perfect because it was the same kind of message each time. And she kept saying, you know, I never feel disappointed about anything because I'm always learning from life experiences.
So even when she was younger, she thought like that. Oh wow,
yeah. She said, I'm not saying that I'm perfect in any way, but I knew that I was good at what I was doing, and I had a belief in myself.
Love it.
And she said, I can't give advice and help on it to anyone else because I only know me, and I only know how I am and how I feel and how I want to be. And anyway, I won't go into all of the things because I can't remember all of it, but it was brilliant because she maintained her stand throughout the years up until really recently. And it's just fantastic to see someone who's so tiny but grounded in her force and strength. Yes,
a woman.
She, I don't think, has done very much face yoga though. She's had a lot of plastic surgery. That aside, she looks incredible.
She has, hasn't she?
Yeah, but I'm not so sure about the new lip thing she's had done. She can't speak properly, which is a little bit of a shame.
But before you give us some face yoga,
yes,
why did you get into it? Why did you decide to branch into the face yoga then?
It's a good point. And I suppose I was reaching the menopause time. I wasn't aware that I was full on into it, but I could definitely sense that my skin was shifting. And my very good girlfriend, Julia Anastasio, who had trained with the person I've now trained with, or the method I've now learned, was offering them online. And she's in the UK, so I don't often see Julia now. But she was offering them online, and I thought, fantastic. It's a way to link up with her. I'll do classes with her. It'll make me feel better about myself.
Yes.
Part of a community that way, which is now what I do, actually. I now teach it this way, and it's fantastic. It's so intimate. And not long after that, I got diagnosed with skin cancer. Probably about a year into practice. So I was already practicing to create shine in a different way and to kind of I suppose smooth some of the lines around the eyes and on the forehead and some of the droop of the skin. I was trying to sort of
that's what
work on that. It does all of that, but it wasn't just that. It was also about confidence in myself whilst things were changing. And then when I got diagnosed with the melanoma, I was like, oh my God, this is one of the few things that I can do now where I feel in control of my skin. And where I can create some shine because I can't go in the sun anymore to get the lovely tan and to hide some of the things that are going on. So it was a whole combo of things. And what it does, it gives you kind of a little portfolio of stuff, and it depends on what you want to take from it. So are you in it to smooth out the wrinkles on your face? Because wrinkles are just dehydrated expressions that you repeated, basically. So if you frown a lot, or if you're looking at the computer a lot, you'll probably end up with these 11 lines here. but it's not the end of the world. You can get rid of them if you want to, you don't have to, but it's just rehydrating them. So it's creating naturally collagen and elastin. So it's plumping up the face naturally.
And now those things, because the collagen and the elastin decrease through menopause.
They do.
Yeah?
They
so
do.
How is this bringing it back? Is it by stimulating the area?
Yeah, there's different methods. So you activate the different layers of your skin. So you've got different layers, for want of a word. You've got three main ones that you're going to look to wake up, basically, so that they function together. And then in between those layers, you've obviously got little fibers, let's put it that way, that sort of function together. So the more toning you can give them, the more lift. It's just like going to the gym, right?
Right. Okay.
So if you're trying to get a tighter ab scenario, or if you're trying to get better butt cheeks or whatever it happens to be, or remuscle things, it's kind of a similar idea. You're sort of reboosting. Yeah. So you're working on the muscle strength. So the more this is lifting up, it's obviously going to lift this up as well. So I'm pointing to my cheeks, and then I'm lifting the lower face. The more your eyes are working, the muscles around your eyes and this orbital area here, the bigger the eyes will be, the less you'll have underneath the eyes, like the bagginess.
Right.
The collagen and the elastin plump up where things are either drooping or where things are lined. So it will help naturally smooth things out. And then there are other techniques where you're looking to massage and smooth. And then finally, there's a hormonal balancing techniques.
That's what really I was going to ask, because there's obviously, then you're speaking about the muscular side, I get that as a link, like if you were going to a gym and you were working on another part of your body. What about, because I know that you're into you've practiced in the tapping as well. Is there an element of, does it have any kind of impact on your relaxing your nervous system?
Well,
or
it does.
Hormones, or
any and all of the techniques will relax your nervous system, just because you're spending time on yourself, and you're connecting through your own fingers with your own face, and therefore with your own mind, and you're just relaxing things down. So it will naturally
there's a mindfulness sort of element.
Absolutely. Tapping is a completely different thing. So EFT, or emotional freedom technique, is very, it can be used in therapy even. It's a very specific kind of technique to reprogram the synapses and the electronic signals in your body. So you might want to recondition yourself to, let's say, stop smoking, for example. And smoking and sun are two things that do affect your face as well. It affects the color, it affects the way your eyes are, it affects everything about the face. But we use tapping, but not the EFT techniques, like just fingertips tapping all over the face. You can do this
in face yoga.
Yeah.
So we're tapping our
face. So you can tap your forehead. You can just go any and all ways over your face. And this is just with all your fingers, and it's not hard at all.
You go quite quickly.
You can go slower, but you can go quicker. It doesn't really matter.
It's lovely when it's just little.
It's like raindrops.
Yeah,
it's like raindrops, and this is automatically now waking up the layers of the skin. So they're starting to talk to each other and go, oh, what's going on at the surface? Let's go and have a look. It's like they're sending the army to the surface to go, right, do we need to defend ourselves, or do we need to produce something that's going to be nice and yummy for the skin? And then we come down the neck area. Now, the other thing I didn't mention, well, this is just waking the skin up. This isn't doing that much necessarily, apart from waking things up and also draining the lymphatic system. Right. So you can tap into the clavicle area now of your neck, and then you can come down into the heart center, the center of the chest.
Now on our chest.
Yeah, center of the chest. I say heart center because in yoga
this is doing just waking it up.
It's waking it up, but that's also helping the lymphatic system to drain. Right. The lymphatic system of your body needs movement to function. It doesn't function otherwise. So you tend to walk around, your legs walk, your body moves.
What is the lymphatic system?
It's where everything clogs up. So your lymph nodes, where everything will go, and
probably where we've got lots of blockagey bits in menopause.
Exactly. So it's either stress and energetic and emotional, but it can also sometimes be physical, like when you have got a cancer, it goes to the lymph nodes, right?
Right.
So this lymph system needs to be washed out and drained quite regularly. So those techniques help wake up, but also
So
drain.
the lymph system
This
takes all the
here-
bad bits and then
Yeah.
just drains it out.
And the face doesn't move very much. So anything and everything that you can do to the face to help it move will help drain. But you have to help it go down into your organs. So this here in the clavicle area, so where it dips down at the bottom of the neck, that's like a junction to go. So if you press a little bit here or massage a little bit here, and you swallow, and then after this session you drink a big glass of water, everything toxin-wise will go down into your tummy, and then you'll eventually wee that out, right?
Okay.
It's out.
So that's
So
the
it
way
literally is a way of getting any toxins out. And why is that important? Because it comes out of your face then. So your face is then freer of toxins, right?
You know, this reminds me of when I used to go to the physiotherapist and he used to start touching my head and my neck. And I used to hear all my stomach gurgling.
Well, that's your nervous system relaxing.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's that nervous system relaxing. Now, the other thing that's really quite interesting, I think, and you don't need oil for this either, but this great big muscle on the side of your neck.
So between the ear and the shoulder.
Ear and the jawline, and then it comes down the side of your neck and it goes down into that clavicle area. That gets really tense. So it's quite a good idea, particularly if you struggle like you just said, to just massage.
Ooh, I can feel that tight.
Massage that, yeah. This has an effect on the whole of the lower face. So I'm on the left side. So that will affect how much tension I'm holding in the left side of my face.
Eek.
So it's not a bad idea to massage that quite regularly. And then what you can do is just drain it down by using your knuckles and just slide them gently down the same area. So it's quite a good way to start any face yoga like this. So you wake the face up, do the other side, because otherwise it's not fair.
Literally going around.
Exactly. You have one side really relaxed and the other side not. I tell you what we'll have to do on one of the pause menopause. It'll be a bit noisy for the podcast.
What?
But no. I've got a chi machine. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
So you lie on the floor and you put your feet in this machine.
Ooh.
And the machine goes either side quite quickly.
What?
Like left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Yeah.
On your feet.
Of your feet. So your feet are suspended and they move from side to side, right? You've got a little kind of cushion thing on your lower back so that your hips move at the same time, but in the other direction. But naturally, it's the machine that just does it for you. So we'll slide down that side, sliding down the knuckles now on the side of the neck. And it's designed to bring you back into an alpha relaxed state.
Oh my God.
I can see an experiment coming on. I can
see quite funny.
An experiment coming on in a couple of weeks' time. Just stay tuned.
I'll be there.
Right. So
gyrating around.
One of the other things that you can do really easily without oil, because you've got to do light touch. Try and have clean hands when you do.
I think I've got quite a lot of oil in my skin.
Well, some people have oily skin,
so.
and I put oil on when I do the face yoga sessions. You know, when I'm teaching and things, but we're just doing.
Although a lot of women speak about dry skin in there.
They do, but pure vegetable oil is usually really, really good. Don't put essential oils into your oil in the mornings because it's too photosensitive, so it can burn your skin in the sun.
So just pure vegetable oil.
Pure vegetable oil. So I tend to have nut oil or hemp oil. That's quite a good one. I also have plum oil. That's so delicious. You just want to drink it. It's just beautiful. So I use those because they're nice and thick, but not too thick. We've got no oil at the moment, but you can take all of your fingers and just bring all of your fingers up to your forehead, the middle of your forehead. So you've got where the 11 lines are. You put your fingers there. And you're going to slide out.
Center and slide out.
Really, really light though.
Okay.
Don't Jill is literally
I was about to give myself a facelift.
Yeah, just gently, gently, less is more. We're
sliding
sliding from the center out. So you're going from the center of the forehead and out, as if you're opening curtains. Yeah, so you just open. You can close your eyes if you want to. Do that a few times.
Yeah, so it's like if you had a fringe, parting your fringe.
Exactly. Then you're taking your ring finger and you're going to draw sunglasses around your eyes. So you just really light on your fingertip. And you're just going around both eyes, each one, staying on the bone. So don't go on the skin under the eye because that skin is really fragile. That's it, like you've got huge sunglasses on.
And again, really light, yeah?
Really light, yeah. It's like homeopathic medicine. Less is always more.
That feels nice.
That's really, really nice. And then you get all the fingers again. And this time you've got them in the center of your face, so around by your nose. And you're just sliding the fingers along your cheeks. and out towards the ears. So if you want to watch this, obviously you have to look at the YouTube channel and then you can see a little session.
So
you
how
can
would
also
you
go on to
describe that?
They're just like you're opening
Nose
shutters.
out.
Really, really sliding them out. And then you're going to do a little V with your index and your middle finger, both hands. And you're kind of sliding that from ear to ear as if you're drawing a smile
It's
on
a bit
your
like
face.
Madonna Vogue, that, isn't
A
it?
little bit.
Gone wrong.
A little bit gone wrong.
God, this.
And you're going over the lips. She's going on a divert. She's going on a divert.
It's
Believe
making
it
noise
is
when I'm
very-
looking at the.
Didn't
the
know the George
videos,
Michael track, different corner.
It's making mine looks a bit different from yours.
And
Okay,
then you do.
Yeah,
then
I'm
you
not
do
using enough fingers.
no, it's not enough fingers. Then you do the same hand position for the chin and the jawline. So you're just sort of sliding the fingers along. It's really like less is more. This is all lymphatic drainage work. This is helping all the toxins come down. Then all the fingers slide down from the chin and the jawline down the neck.
Okay.
Okay, so as if you're encouraging that to go down.
If you want to cough, so something must be going down.
And then the last bit, our ears are really powerful for our nervous system and our lymphatic system. So we're going to do a V with the fingers here, and you put them in front and behind the ears. So you've got the middle finger just up at the top of the ears in the front, and the index fingers are just behind the ears. Yeah, and there are little. You might be able to find little dips.
Yeah, I can feel it.
So those are what we call in Ayurveda mama points. So they're often used in massage techniques. So you don't press very hard, but you just go up and down as if you're massaging up and down there.
Can feel a real dip in front of the ear.
Aha, okay. Come down about halfway and try and find a little spot again and just go up and down. Sometimes these are sensitive. It doesn't, it's not a bad thing. It's just one of those things. Each day is a bit different. And then a little bit lower and up and down. That's it. And then flip the fingers so that you've got your fingers on the side of the neck and they're just touching the side of the neck. And you're kind of going up and down like that.
Sort of like palms up.
A little bit palms up. More like Mickey Mouse type things, but out of
lower
front.
down. Okay.
Yeah, lower down.
On your neck.
And then you come all the way down until you reach the clavicle, basically, when you massage again to help all of that go down. And you might feel the need to swallow, which is completely normal.
Yeah, I do.
Because we've encouraged all the saliva's coming out, and now you're getting rid of the toxins, you see. I'm going to give you a couple of really good tips, though, for the sides of the eyes, around the eyes, and the 11 lines, and that'll be a little taster for you. So 11
what
lines.
I would like, but maybe not today, is here by the mouth.
Yeah, that's very difficult to do audio version. So, but you can do them where you put your fingers. We'll try. You put your index fingers like in the dips that go down from your nose down to the side of either side of the chin. So they're called the nasolabial lines. So you kind of you press them out of it so that your lips are a bit.
Okay, pull them out.
Yeah, so that the lips stretch out. That's it. And then you try and do an O with the mouth like this. O. And then you try and do a smile.
Oh. That's quite hard.
Okay.
And
that's what that's doing is remuscling in this area here under the cheeks, which is therefore lifting a little bit the lower face.
I try that.
There's lots of things like that. 11 lines. This is 11 lines are the 2 lines that appear on the forehead. Yeah, often vertically, just in
frown lines.
Like frown lines. Yeah. So you get your ring finger because you've got the least amount of pressure on your ring finger. And then you slide them up the middle of your forehead.
All right.
So you're just doing very light, but quite quick. And you're trying to cover both 11 lines. So you might turn the head slightly, left and right so that you're covering that whole middle ground, that whole middle area. And the Chinese believe, and in fact, a lot of Asian traditions believe that your nose and your forehead are connected to your spine and your spinal strength. So when you slide your finger up your forehead and the other one down your nose, you'll feel almost like a need to bring the spine up.
I feel that on my lower spine.
Ah, well, there you go.
And my hip a little bit. That's weird.
So that's a really nice technique to reconnect with the health of your spine.
Oh my goodness.
And then relax your arms and relax your hands. And then just on the side of your eyes here, we call these the crow's feet,
Yes.
don't we? In French, they call them pattes d'oie, so they're into geese, we're into crows, but they call them the geese feet, we're into crows. So you turn your fingers into your index fingers as if they're going on a diagonal. So you're pointing your nails downwards on a diagonal, and then you're going to slide them either side of your eyes on a diagonal. So you're going sort of from cheek up to hairline, very light. And you can do this as many times as you want. Honestly, it's super efficient. I often do this a couple of times a day, and I follow it up with this one. So relax the arms.
And I guess you could do this then if you were just sitting watching telly.
Of course you can.
Just sitting,
if you're a passenger in the car, obviously not when you're driving, but if you're a passenger in the car, driving, it might be a bit. You could do one hand maybe, although I'm not encouraging that. Ring finger then, the last thing I'd say is just tap around the eyes. So you're tapping on the eyebrows and you're going all the way around. You can close your eyes as well. It feels really nice and relaxing. And then what you've done, you see, is you've slightly energized the forehead. You've slightly worked on the outside of the eyes, and now you're just draining everything down. And you keep tapping. So you're doing the big circles, and then you tap up to the top of the nose, and you tap down the nose. You tap underneath the cheeks, all the way to the ears. You tap behind the ears, and you come back down that muscle that we massaged at the beginning. And then you tap into the clavicle. And you can go all the way down. Yeah.
It does. You do feel like you're doing something. I don't know if indulgence, but you know, that
Yes.
self-care.
But it's not indulgent.
I think, isn't it? It's lovely.
I think that you don't have to spend long. I think you can spend 5 minutes, but when I do my sessions, it's 30 minutes. So we spend a lot of time. For 10 days, we do like live sessions. And it just makes you feel calmer, and it gives you a lot more clarity, actually, incredibly. It gives you more energy. Your eyes feel like they've got more energy. Your skin feels like
a little bit more grounded. Like, it sounds a bit of a silly thing to say, but even just doing that, I feel like it's calmed me down a little bit. You know, rather than, come on, the performer, it just made me go.
Yeah,
it just grounded me a little bit.
It does.
It's nice.
It
really
does.
nice.
It's like a meditation and movement, really. I mean, I've just given you a taste.
You do that. So how often do you do it? Or like if someone was just starting out, what would you say? What would you recommend?
I would say 5 to 10 minutes a day is amazing. If you can do that every day or just 5 or 6 days a week, that's perfect. It's really cool.
And what benefits have you noticed? Like, so how long have you been doing it for?
For a few years now. I mean, obviously, it's not going to completely get rid of the aging process, right?
I have definitely noticed a difference in your skin, though. You do this, you glow. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I think I'm looking at a photo of myself over there, for example, just taken many years ago, just on the bedside table, and I have more lines around my eyes then. And Melody is like she's about 12 there. She's now 21. So she's about 12 or 13 there. So I've got less lines now. And okay, I haven't been in the sun fully.
I bet that makes a difference.
Huge difference. And my dermatologist said, I know you don't like this, Charlotte, but you will thank me for this in 10 years' time. When you look a lot younger than a lot of the people around.
Your face is you're thinner in the face as well, aren't you?
I've lost a bit of weight, but I am thin.
Bone definition.
Yes.
You've got very as you're aging.
The cheekbones here, but that's also the face yoga, I think, because there are many techniques that
it's just like you've got sort of the skin over the nice bone with a little bit of muscle. It's not, it's not scrawny looking.
No,
it's nice.
No, I mean, I've noticed a lot of differences like that, and it's given me a lot more confidence, I suppose. And what I think is nice for women, menopausal women or not, is that these are tools that are free.
Yes.
They are in your fingertips. They are things you can learn and things you can do with very little investment. And I think that's a really nice thing. I'm big on encouraging, okay, what can I do naturally here?
And very little time. I mean, you've just got about 10 minutes a day.
We haven't done much.
You can't take 10 minutes for yourself, but that's what you hear all the time.
You're going to put face cream on.
I don't have time.
You're going to put face cream on in the morning, normally anyway. You're going to put face cream on in the evening, normally, or some form of oil or something like that. just spend 5 more minutes in the morning.
Take it
5 more minutes
longer.
exactly
Make
in the
it into a bit of
bathroom.
a ritual for you.
Make it into a ritual. It also helps you sleep because you're cutting off from the Netflix, the television, the day that's gone before you. You know, it's just that little extra time before you get
I
into
can
bed.
see how it would. Just having
Mm.
done that there, I think if I was
Mm.
to do that before bed, you know, take off your makeup and do that.
Just even the tapping
would have a really calming
even
effect.
just the tapping, and then just the sliding things over. So you can put your cream on if you want, and you can slide it all in. Lots of people have said to me since they've started doing face yoga with me that they've completely changed how they put beauty products on their face.
Oh, I bet. Much
So-
more conscious about going in the
completely.
right direction.
Completely. So instead of just going, oh, just
Because
put
we
it on
probably
anywhere,
drag or make it worse, maybe.
put it in their hands, they place it on their face, then they'll start to kind of do some of the slide, and they'll just really be a lot more aware of their
And you
face.
run what? Is the face yoga something that you do all the time then?
I do. I do live cycles once a month online, so you can be anywhere in the world. In fact, I have women all over the world, in Israel, in various islands.
That's
all
lovely
over
too,
Europe.
isn't it?
It's
Doing
great.
that,
It's
yeah.
really cool. I've got one man who comes as
Good
well.
on him.
Yeah, he's really cool. He likes to have his camera off when he's doing his face yoga.
Good,
But then
yeah.
he puts it back on at the beginning and the end. He's brilliant. So we love Anthony in the group. So I kind of got a group of faithful followers, and then every month I'll get like some extras. And I do 10 days. So I do a 10-day cycle, so it doesn't eat up all of my month as well. And then I also have programs that are online. So I have an English program called Face Yoga, I think Natural Shine or something like that, on my Earth School site.
So if somebody didn't want to do it live, they could go on
They
there.
can buy that program and they can go and do the program.
So
and that's not why I'm doing this.
But
yeah, it's a really, really good way of having, because in the program, and again, I'm not doing this so you can go and buy the program, but if you're really interested in it, it's quite accessible price-wise and stuff. And you have a selection of practices that you can do. So I've divided them up. I've gone like, here's a morning practice, here's an evening
make
practice.
it easy for people.
Exactly. Here's a bigger practice that you can do if you've got a little bit more time. I do a really cool practice with spoons and cold water, which I think we've done before. Which is so nice, especially when you're going through the menopause, because it drains things, the sinuses and things. In the interseasons, so that would be spring and autumn, brilliant for that, for all, the sinus issues and pollen issues.
When we did that, I mean, that was quite a lot. I mean, we did spoons, you had the, what is it, cacao?
Yeah, we did a cacao. She actually walked back home
wonderful.
I
didn't look wonderful because I had a brown
honey as well.
My face was
we do honey in that session.
Yeah.
So you get runny honey and you actually use it on the skin like this to pulp up all of the dips in your skin, and it's in your cupboard.
And it felt lovely, that
stuff like that. So I do that, and I do a hormonal balance practice as well, which is really nice. So you do
the sound of that.
It's just so easy, and it's like so in yoga we have types of yoga. One is yin yoga, which is you stay in a position for some time. It's more accessible, let's say, but it's a really relaxing way to go into a yoga pose. So I do this yin face yoga session, and you press on different parts of the face. So, we just discovered the ones behind the ears. So they're called mama points or pressure points. There are lots all over the face, and they affect our internal organs. So you go through the different places and, the spots, and I guide you through. But we also do a little Brahmari breath that goes with it, which is called the bee breath, which is really good fun. So you go, like a bee. So you put your tongue up in the top part of your mouth. And as you exhale, you make a bee sound, right? Keep your mouth closed as well, so even more potent. Yeah. And what that does, not only does it concentrate you and relax you, but it affects the pituitary gland. And it does it. Yeah, so it affects all of your hormonal system. It affects thyroid as well.
Ooh,
it's a really good.
This is something I know we don't have time today, but any little tips like this, hormonal.
Well, maybe once a month we can do one of these. We can do okay, so today we're going to focus on just some hormonal balancing, and we can do that. We could do a meditation there. Maybe once a month we should do that. Let us know what you think.
Yeah,
it could be quite.
But that right today, I think I'm going to try that.
Little bit of self-care, and actually on my Instagram page And actually on my website as well, there are some free things. There's lots of free things left, right and centre. Go on YouTube as well. You can see I've got a couple of videos in English as well as in French, but and they give you 3 or 4 techniques that you can use every day to help, you know, your face have some natural shine. So it's under my name, Charlotte Saint Jean, but it's been a bit of an advert for me, but it wasn't really that as an intention. It was more for you.
But it's something that you do.
It is,
and so and it's
passionate
lovely
about
that
it.
you've given it here.
I'm passionate about it, and I hope that I'm living proof that it works without wanting, and I love Dolly Parton, like I said, but without wanting to look like some plastic surgery woman. Because I'm not going down that road. I didn't take any HRT, and again, I have nothing against anyone who has done that, but I know that does also help your skin and the plumpness of your skin.
You've always been.
I never did that.
I did the HRT.
I don't. You know, it's great. I mean, I you know, and there were points when I was so down that I really thought maybe I should go, but I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't in many ways.
But it's such a unique thing, isn't it? I think the message that I would like to give is no one knows your menopause like you, and in a way, I mean, I very much respect you making the choices that you've made because they align with your values. You are and always have been a very natural person. You know, I know it's more important to you to have had a completely natural, holistic menopause than it is to the likes of me, for example. You know.
But I think, like you say, it's a really personal decision, and I didn't start the menopause adamantly going, well, I'm not going to go down that route. I just thought I'd ride the wave and see how I go, and if I can get to the other side and not have taken anything. I remember sitting, actually, it's quite interesting that I remember sitting, maybe we'll close on this bit, by a swimming pool. My friend, I've got a house in the south of France, which makes it sound really grand. It's not that grand. And various of my friends in this village have pools, and I went round to one of them at evening time because I can't swim in the sun easily, so I go in the evening to my friends' pools, and I had a swim, and I was sitting there, and her mum had come round, and my girlfriend is also very natural kind of looking. I don't think she didn't opt for HRT. I think she might have gone down the HRT route, but her mum didn't, and we had a whole conversation about the menopause. And her mum, who's now late 70s, I would say, turned around and said, yeah, I chose not to. And I look at some of my girlfriends who are late 70s, 80s now. Their skin is plumper than mine. So possibly I could have gone down that route and have a little bit better skin. But I'm really glad I didn't do it. And she was
it was the right thing for her.
A sage-femme, what's that? A midwife, and worked with quite a lot of natural methods for childbirth and things like that. So she was coming at it from a medical, but also a holistic point of view. And I remember her saying that, and she looks amazing. To me, she looks really lovely and natural with shiny eyes and things. And I thought, I'm going for that.
For me, it was the mood. It was, I don't give a damn what I look like. You know what I mean? If I carry on like this, I'm going to jump in front of a bus, you know? So it's like, that's where I just think,
I do remember a girlfriend of mine.
Have to do what we got to do.
Well, I do remember a girlfriend of mine up in the mountains here turning around and going, if I don't have something soon, I will literally kill my family. And she said the lowest point was when I actually hid in the bathroom in a kind of clothes type cupboard, storage cupboard, towels cupboard that we got, piled clothes in front of the entrance so that no one could find me, and sat in there for an hour crying. That was her lowest point. And I've never kind of got to that bit, but I know exactly what she means.
You can picture it.
Feel it.
Definitely.
Oh, it was a bit of a deeper one today, a bit of a different one, but I hope you've enjoyed it. Have a lovely
Thank you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
I'm going to do it and see if you notice a difference. Those of you who watch it, you might see me shining in a year's time.
We will. We will. We will. Thank you very much for listening.